champion, Michael Holt.
Good morning. Looking forward to this group, some proper players in it. So yeah, we'll see how this pans out.
Well, you're a proper player, Michael, so you should be able to have valid opinions.
Yes, hopefully. On my day, I can be, but yes, hopefully I can sort of give a bit of insight into what they're up to.
What we can say for certain is that if he wants to make the playoffs, Walden has to win this match and then the next two. And that helps.
They're all right. They are good starters in the morning. I think, like you say, Ricky's in a position now where it's just knockout for him. And I think sometimes it can go in a way for you when you've got the group matches. You know you can lose, but then as soon as if it gets to a point where you've got to win, it can in a way free you up a little bit. Sort of point of no return. So we'll see how it goes for him. But that was a nice first fluke to get him off.
Well, funnily enough, last night when we closed, the last match was John Higgins against Mark Selby, as I mentioned. And in that, in the very first frame, Selby fluked the opening red even more outrageously than the Walden one there. The difference was, and I'll explain it to you in a moment, Selby thought it was so hilarious that he couldn't concentrate and he missed the black next. And the reason he thought it was so hilarious was this. Basically, at tea last night, lots of stories were being told about the late, great Willie Thorne.
11.
Well, at the Scottish Masters many years ago, he played Stephen Hendry, and he was convinced, was Willie, that Hendry was golden 12. In terms of luck. Anyway, first frame, Hendry has a massive fluke. I actually commentated on the match. And Willie just sat in his chair and said, "So soon." Hendry, the face, even he couldn't stop laughing. So consequently, this story was rehashed last night over dinner. Anyway, Higgins and Selby then went out to play, and of course, Selby fluked the first red, and Higgins from his chair said, "So soon," and that's what got Selby in a fit of laughter.
Yeah, it's a great story, that is. Willie, you know, sorely missed. Great character, and he's definitely guilty of some of the greatest one-liners the game's ever heard. You know, fantastic. Yeah, he's not the only one that I say one-liners. It's brilliant.
25.
My personal favourite was in Dubai many years ago, and there were 3 practice tables in this room. We were at the Dubai Classic, which was a world ranking event, and it was Ronnie O'Sullivan, Steve Davis and Stephen Hendry all practising on their own on these 3 tables. And Willie comes in looking very suntanned and healthy as Walden lets that one go astray.
25.
And looks at the guys already in the room and said, "Now, answer me a question, fellows. Who was the best player in here before I arrived?" O'Sullivan, Hendry and Davis, no less.
Yeah, brilliant. Love him.
Anyway, all of those reminiscences have gone now. Well, let's concentrate on this. And I think Walden missed that red purely and simply because of the amount of side he was imparting.
Yeah, he was using a little bit of check side, and he just sort of pulled the red thick. I think it was. I think that's why I missed it. But yeah, be a bit disappointed because it's a shot I'd expect to get. I think he's found a good spot there. I don't know whether he can get to the side of the reds. Yeah, I think he can. So he'll probably try and put the white in a similar position where it is now. It's a bit too hard. He might get second prize here. No. Them cushions look a bit bouncy than they did last time.
Yeah, I think they haven't been a major problem, but there have been a few occasions where we've seen a few lively ones.
Yeah, the other day when I was commentating, they looked quite trappy. Yeah, they're a bit dead, and that's how players would prefer them. Sometimes when they get a bit springy, it's harder to judge. They seem to come off sometimes quicker than they go on, but I think with the scoring yesterday, the two of them must be playing really, really well.
1.
Yeah, I think the big problem, as you well know, Michael, and it's not been completely eradicated from the game, but it's certainly a lot less of a problem than it was, is inconsistent bounce. And we've not seen a great amount of that. We have seen a few funny ones, but nothing inordinate.
No, like you say, consistency is what you're looking for, because then, you know, you can adapt as a player. But if the cloth stays slippy, you know, these players will just sort of take advantage of it.
Eight.
I don't know whether the red goes, the black goes in this right corner. I think that's having a look now. Look, if it does, that'd help him. If it doesn't, he'll want to get that red out of the way as soon as possible.
Now that is this table all over.
Foul.
He was going nowhere near that middle pocket in his mind, but the table is so reactive when it comes to screwing back.
Yeah, it's like they're slippy, aren't they? So it just, you see it grabs, look, and then it's not going to stop from there. But that's why he's played that shot, because the black didn't go, obviously. So yeah, he'd be a bit disappointed with that. But he wanted to get as close to the blue as possible, but not that close. Oh.
And the same thing applied to Walden. He wanted to get very close to the red, but not quite as close as that. And in the end, wow.
I used to think these top players were just better, but they're just luckier, obviously. They're great flicks, they are. What a difference that makes. Half a roll. You want to drop on this, because if he flicks it towards the pocket, he'll leave a shot on. Yeah, he has done. I don't know whether that red's close enough to the hole to make that red guaranteed, because he'd use it to pot it. Don't think it is. I think he'll still think he'll play it though, but he's trying to. He's not. He's unsure. I think he's forced into this because he can't really do anything unless he plays like a little tap shot.
One.
It's a good shot. These are obviously reds are everywhere here, but if that red's guarding, stopping the black go, he'll want to try and get that out of the way as quick as he can.
I think yesterday Walden was playing under something of a psychological hangover. Basically what happened at the tail end of Group 3, he played really well in that. He won 5 of his 6 matches in the round robin phase. In the semi-finals,
9.
He really should have beaten Matt Selt, but he missed a really simple yellow with all of the other colours sitting pretty right there for him. What's more, he missed the yellow by a mile for some reason, off its spot, routine kind of thing. So he
16.
got all that way, then lost a match he should have won in the semi-finals, and I think coming back yesterday morning he was still
17.
suffering the blues.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think this tournament especially, you have to be able to recover quickly because you're on straight away if you lose. So yeah, it might have affected him. But again, this is
24.
a tough group. You look at that group and you go, no.
25.
Mind you, Michael, I don't think Group 5 is going to do anyone any favours. The new additions will be David Gilbert, Mark Williams and Neil Robertson.
Yeah, they're not bad between them, are they? They've had a few hundreds of breaks down the years. So I think this tournament, when it gets to sort of this stage of it, it gets, yeah, some of the groups are horrible
13.
to look at. If you're playing them anyway.
Thank you.
And
31.
also as well, We've got 3 players through to the winners group on March the 1st and the 2nd here in Leicester, and all 3 so far are members of the top 16. Kyron Wilson, Stuart Bingham and Jack Lazowski.
Yeah, so it looks like it could be a fantastic final group.
Well, Walden has
39.
started off exactly how he needed to, greatly helped of course by that fluked snooker, that flick in behind the yellow.
Yeah, he had that fluke early on, then he had that flick, and then of course John had a chance, which you'd have expected him to make more of. So those little things like that, no matter how well you play, you need that to happen. People talk about luck a lot with the obvious like flukes and things, but sometimes you just need someone to miss against you, which sometimes don't happen. So the way this frame's gone, it looks, you know, like the tide might go in for him, so he wants to try and take advantage of that.
53.
The other disappointment for
54.
Walden yesterday in his match against Gary Wilson on this table, he potted 13 reds, 13 blacks, had the chance of a 1-4-7, and he played the 14th red quite correctly, slowly towards the top left-hand pocket as we're looking, and it did seem to just taper off and hit the far jaw. I think it did run off slightly, so that was another cause of angst.
61.
Yes, it would have been. You know, it'd have been nice to make a maximum. Has he made maximum in the tournament? I think he might have. Yeah,
he has.
Yeah. He's a very heavy scorer, Ricky. I know we're practicing with him. You catch him on the wrong day, and you don't need GQ. You just need white gloves.
67. 69.
No problem with the yellow there. That was the cause of his problems in that semi-final against Matt Selt in Group 3. But you can't turn the clock back. You shouldn't dwell, but it's human nature.
Yes, it's tough sometimes to try and put things out of your mind, but this is the best way to do it.
$81.
It's all right, isn't it?
$87. $94.
Ricky Walden needs to slip up a gear or two today to stand any chance of remaining in this tournament, let alone make the playoffs, and that was a nice improvement. 94 clearance, yes, he was lucky, but when you get the chance you need to capitalise, and that's what Walden did. He draws first blood. Ricky Walden 1, John Higgins 0. The opening frame on both tables is over. Ricky Walden's sitting there feeling a lot better after taking the first from John Higgins. Over on table 2, I can tell you, Matt Selt, who heads the prize money table for the Championship League so far this season. He has taken the first frame from Rob Milkins.
I think John's had a look at that long red, but it's all or nothing. I think think he looked at the red just above the black. The one might have played a shot to nothing there, but he's going to go for this one now. Maybe come back up the table for the blue. Now he's played for the black, really attacking. It's a great shot.
Yesterday, he started off with a 3-1 and a 3-0 win, but in neither of those matches did I see anything that was particularly impressive, not by his standards. It was okay, but nothing out of the ordinary. But I thought from 1-1 against Mark Selby last night, he looked his old self. In the first two frames, he missed quite a few balls and squandered chances, but thereafter, that was the old John Higgins.
Yeah, if John doesn't play to his best, it's just a matter of time, really. He will start playing at some point. He might have had a good New Year. So, but yeah, I mean, John's just snooker royalty, basically. Yeah, brilliant player.
I was talking to him about the Christmas festivities yesterday. Said he really enjoyed Christmas. They had a very quiet New Year, in fact, the family. I think one thing about the New Year that really pleased him was the fact that Celtic got the draw against Rangers, so remained well clear at the top of the top division in Scotland.
It's all sweetness and light now.
Eight.
He's got such a really great technique, John has. Not much can go wrong.
$13. $14.
Undoubtedly one of the game's all-time greats, John Higgins. But Michael, you've beaten Higgins in a final over in Prague in the Czech Republic, I believe.
Yes, he's good, but he's not that good, Phil. Yes, I did. It was a PTC event, I think 2011, I think.
21.
A nice story, actually, in the end. My dad was ill at the time. He'd been in the hospital for a good few months. And I'd been up the hospital every day.
22.
Losing these PTC events, and it got to the last one. I needed to win it to actually get in the finals. So I kind of joking to my dad, "Oh, I'm going to win it for you," and he was laughing. And I had a really tough draw. I think I beat John, Sean Murphy, Mark Selby, Stephen Maguire, Joe Swale, I think, and ended up winning it
29.
to sort of get in the finals. So it was a nice bit of sunlight, in a really tough time for us as a family. So. Yeah, it was lovely. I think I was 3-0 up, and it went 3 each, and I won the decider. Good shot he's played there, a bit unlucky. He played that where he'd want to play it, just skid off him.
37.
We've seen how grippy the cloth is with the Higgins screw backing off in the first frame, and I think that helped with that particular shot to go into the reds quite as much as he did from that angle.
Yeah, they seem to move quite nicely, although they didn't for him.
38.
But I think that's why they've been scoring, the players. This quality of player, they'll just take advantage of that. But they do seem nice tables to play on.
And this could be the big shot of the frame. Well cued. They might seem simple, you say, oh, a black off each spot, but there are very different kinds of black
45.
off their spot. And when the cue ball is as close to the side cushion as that, you need good cueing.
Absolutely, you need to try and be as still as you can, but the sort of psychology of that shot, he'll know that it's one good shot and I'm looking
46.
like I'll win the frame. So you see it as virtually frame ball in a way, because now he'll expect to sort of run out from here. Now he's perfect, and he'll just keep a tight white, hopefully, and that'll be that. See John there shaking a little bit. He always does that. I can play him at the Crucible once, and he obviously really close, 49. And he was playing a shot from right close to where we were sitting, and I saw him shaking, and I thought, oh, I've got him. I didn't get him.
Lots of players
50.
do it, even the very top players. I've seen Mark Selby do it on many occasions. The most notable example, certainly in terms of a ranking event winner, was a French-Canadian, Bob Chaperon, who won the British Open in 1990 at the Assembly Rooms in Derby. And he really did shake on the shots. But that week was his.
Yeah, is that where they drew it every round? Was that there was a...
It was.
Yeah. I think that'd be a good idea for an event now. If they did they do that?
At the British Open?
They do it, don't they?
TV,
Yeah, they do it, yeah, of course.
$54.
Clever shot by John there. He knows he needs another red, so just drop onto him, knowing that red's over the middle.
59.
You didn't need to go into a wide there, just nudge him open.
It's not certain because Judd Trump and Neil Robertson are on his tail, as it were, but I think there's every chance that John Higgins, if he maintains his usual form, will become the second player in professional competition to make 1,000 centuries.
Would he be the second, would he? I mean, don't surprise me. He's, yeah, brilliant. Snooker royalty, like I say. I could watch 66. Him play all day.
Of course, Ronnie O'Sullivan was the first. David Hendon made a great analogy the other day. He said it's like when you're the second player to 1,000 centuries, it's the Buzz Aldrin of snooker. Obviously Neil Armstrong, first man on the moon. Buzz second.
73.
Yes, it won't be as memorable, will it? But it's still an outstanding achievement. You might be too up with this. I don't know if this is true, and I've asked John,
80.
and he says it is, but I still don't believe it. He said that when he won his first World Championship, it was before he'd made a maximum in practice, which I think that's one of the most amazing stats I've ever heard. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. I think actually the first 147 he made was in competition. It was in the Home Nations, wasn't it? I think it was against Fergal or something. That was his first maximum. I still can't believe it.
88.
He's not a flash, Harry. All he wants to do is win frames and win matches, which he's done by the boatload. He's won that frame very nicely indeed. And as a consequence, John Higgins equalises with Ricky Walden at one frame each. Well, much like yesterday morning, we're off to a very quick start. Some fluent snooker, in this case, from both players. Yesterday morning, the exchanges were monopolised by Judd Trump. In this match, John Higgins and Ricky Walden have showed us what they can do. By the way, we were just talking about John Higgins making his first 1-4-7 break in professional competition. It was the Nations Cup, you were right about that, Michael. It was the year 2000, almost 23 years ago, and he did it against Dennis Taylor.
I think for the avoidance of doubt of people listening or watching, that was his first maximum he'd ever had, not just in a match, even in practice. I still can't believe it.
Now over on table 2, it's not a maximum, but it is a frame winner from Matt Selt. He's on a run of 70 with the black to come, surely, and he's going to take a 2-0 lead over Rob Wilkins. The schedulers did him no favours yesterday. His first 3 matches were against Higgins, Selby and Trump in that order.
It can only get better, can't it?
By the way, the Higgins maximum count is now at 12, so he's second on the all-time list behind O'Sullivan with 15. Third is Stephen Hendry with 11, and fourth, our Group 2 winner in this tournament, just before Christmas, Stuart Bingham. He's made 9.
Yeah, Stuart's always made a lot of maximums in practice as well, so he obviously goes for them. And he's also a brilliant player. I think John's trying to pot this red and maybe hold for the black, or if he's going to screw past for the blue. Yeah, he's played holding for the black. That's a brilliant shot. He's played a lovely little cannon there.
The Selt break on table 2 concluded at 77, so he is officially 2-0 ahead.
Eight.
Not sure what he played on there, whether he just didn't come far enough. I think he's got a red in the middle, which he has, yeah. You've got to control the white. It's easy to lose the white. And you forget about the pot. He's played a fantastic shot. Yeah, look, he's in. Harder than look that was. He hit that lovely. He's perfect now. He might go into him here. He's got a lovely little gap. Not guaranteed. You don't have to, but you might do. Yeah, I think that's what he's having to think about there. The shot's on, but he's frightened of not landing with so many reds out. The risk he might not want to take. No, he's not took it, so.
$16.
See that red he's looking at now, you don't have to play it, but I think he'll want to try and move it out of the way, because it's in that it's in a place where he'll want to put the white if he's scoring. So if you can sometimes get rid of the red when they're in that position out of the way, they're in a nice potable position, but they can cause you more problems than not. So now he's got the opportunity to move one of them. He probably is going to take it.
Okay, thank you. 17. Okay, thanks.
Hard to read the head-to-head information with these two. conflicting signals, as it were. They've played 5 times before in the Championship League, and Higgins has won all 5. But in other tournaments, Walden's got a good record against Higgins. 4-4.
24.
Head to head.
Yeah, Ricky's one of those players that's so capable of playing a really, really high level, and he's got belief in what he does. He's always capable of beating the top players. I mean, he's won some big events as well. Do you know what I mean? So he's just probably not as consistent as the top players. But if you catch him on the right or wrong day, it's just, you might be playing. You could be playing anyone in the top 4.
Talking about Higgins and 147s, he made one against Ricky Walden in the 2004 Grand Prix and lost the match 5-3.
$31.
One of Walden's most satisfying and indeed lucrative wins came at the expense of John Higgins. Semi-final of the 2016 China Open, big event in Beijing. Walden led 5-3. Higgins fought back to 5-5. Walden made a 1-3-1 in the decider. He's also beaten Higgins in the UK Championship.
Extended rest, yes.
That was in 2004, and quite recently in 2021, last season actually, he beat Higgins in the last 32 of the British Open. So he's been there, done that, knows what to do.
Yeah, he's had a sort of a great career on the quiet, and you know what I mean. Everybody looks to sort of like your John Higgins's, Ronnie Sullivan's, Neil Robertson's, Mark Selby's career stats, but Ricky's won some big events in China and beat, like you say there, beat top players to do it. So yeah, he's had a fantastic career.
And yet in this event, when he's played Higgins, it's been unceasing futility.
It's easily done against John.
Higgins won the Championship League initially in 2017 and 2018, and he did so 45. By coming in Group 7, the last available group, winning that, and then a couple of days later winning the winners group. And on both occasions, 2017 and 2018, he beat Walden in that Group 7, 3-1 and 3-2, went on to lift the trophy.
Might be a good omen for John then, playing Ricky. Is that what he does? He just turns up for the Group 7 and then wins them both. Yeah, that's alright, isn't it? He ran too fast, he's got a tough shot. Yes, easily missable that. I don't know whether he got a ping off the side rail there to go too far for that red. He was looking at the white as if he did go further than he expected and left him that shot bridging over the blue. They're hard, easily missed. Need to find the middle of the white, and as anybody that watches my YouTube channel knows, it doesn't exist.
One.
Well, for Walden there, position doesn't exist. Okay, he has a couple of colours available, maybe 3 even. But he didn't want to knock the pink safe, that's for sure. When you're 45 points adrift, that's the last thing you want, a high value colour to go out of commission.
Yeah, and as well as the way he's landed there, look, he could have landed better, I suppose, on a colour. Some days that just runs perfectly for you, but and you'll expect to get this, but it's not guaranteed, and he's got to get the white in a good spot. It's a good shot, brilliant shot he's played there. And now he'll try and get the black on the spot, and then he's off.
6. 37. $14.
I was thinking Ricky's got a lovely pace around the
15.
table. Quite fluent, quite relaxed. He sort of gets, for me, just gets on a bit of a roll, and then he just keeps potting. Gets the ball lovely.
I like your description of his career, actually.
22.
A really good career on the quiet. It is, because the 3 events he won in China were immense tournaments. We all know that. But because they were over there and not
23.
here, maybe the British audience don't realise quite just how well he did there. To win 3 world ranking events anywhere is a phenomenal achievement.
Yeah, and he's picked big ones to win as well. They're big events, and I think he beat Ronnie O'Sullivan in the final of the first one, which is, it's like winning 2 events really.
28.
So yeah, it's for his first one as well. I think it was the Shanghai Masters. Yeah, incredible.
29.
And I think he's been to the semis of the world. I think he's been to the semis of the UK. He's had, like I say, a fantastic career, and he's a brilliant snooker player.
And a diamond of a bloke as well. Just a really good guy.
36.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got no airs and grace about him. He's pretty down to earth. And yeah, I've known him for a long time.
37.
Obviously, being similar age, he was a junior when I was a junior. Yeah, and he's, like I say, brilliant player.
The first red he potted, he knocked the pink safe.
42.
He won't need that, thankfully. Plenty of other alternatives, and if he gets that far, the frame will be secured anyway.
43.
But the red that's close to the middle pocket he's eyeing now intently. Even though that is close to the pocket, it's not a certainty unless you get right in behind it, and even then, it could be a little tricky.
Yeah, like you say, if he's perfectly on it, he'll expect to get it. But if you're not quite, it's a horrible shot. Because he'll want to try and get on.
50.
If he's got not quite the right angle, he might leave the white on the cushion, so leaves a harder blue. But yeah, he's trying to land there, look, so he can just drop it in and get on the blue. So he's now looking. I want to get perfect on the black to be able to get perfect on the red. Leave every shot a natural angle, so you don't have to create any angle. Has he gone far enough there?
51.
Oh, just enough, but not. He should get on this, but again, this is a shot. It could go wrong. Yeah, we had a better angle than I thought there, but he's good on that.
58.
He's making a decision. Does he drop it in and leave the white there, or does he try and move the white off the cushion but then risk missing the red? Probably just drop it in. Yeah, there we go.
59.
Maybe thinking one good shot and I'm off and I'm done.
Higgins made 45 to initiate the scoring. Missed a very high tariff red using
64.
the spider. And ever since he's been sitting there.
Yeah, this game,
66.
fine margins. If the red that he potted, the white pulled up. Sorry, the black that he potted, the white would have pulled up half a roll before it went behind the blue. He probably pots the red and it's all over. But because it went a little bit too far,
69.
he misses the pot with the spider, and now Rick is in. So it's a roller coaster, this game, emotionally anyway.
73.
Yesterday for Ricky Walden was gloomy and unproductive. Maybe new day, new fortunes.
Ricky Walden, 78.
Walden made a 94 break in the first frame. He clears up with 78 to the blue in the third. And with that, Walden regains the lead over the defending Championship League winner, John Higgins. It is 2-1. Welcome back, everyone, to the Morningside Arena in Leicester, a very familiar venue now for top-class professional snooker. At the end of this month, this venue is going to host the shootout, and of course that's relevant considering my co-commentator this morning, Michael Holt, who is, I believe, 2 years removed from winning that?
Yes, a few years ago.
3 years.
2023. Is it really? Time flies.
Now then, over on table 2, Matt Selt, he floats that one in. He's looking really good for a 3-0 win here. Look at the balls, he's already 19 points ahead. And a 3-0 victory would do wonders for his chances of A, making the playoffs maybe later on, or at the very least claiming 5th place and therefore going through to Group 5. And bear in mind, he started out in Group 1. This tournament is proving very profitable for him.
Yeah, I think it's not the first time he's done it. He did it a few years ago. I think that probably the year he sort of started winning, he sort of broke through a little bit and started winning quite a few matches. He got up the rankings. I think that was that year he did really well in this event, doing similar. And it can do that. There's been a few players down the years that have used it as a bit of a springboard. Yeah, he's a good ready pod there, and he's just willing that white to pull up. And like I said earlier, the difference between half a roll in this game can be critical. And, like I say, it pulls up a bit short. He's perfect. He's got a great chance to score. Although he's still in a good position, it's tough to put him safe from here.
Yeah, he's not had the best of luck, has he, in this match? If you think about the first frame, he screwed in off to the middle pocket. Walden fluked an outrageous red. He flicked off a ball, left a red over the pocket, but snookered John in behind the yellow. So, all in all, Walden has had the better fortune.
Yeah, I think also when he ran out of position in the last frame, I'm sure it was a little bit of a ping he had off the side rail. I don't know, but just the way John reacted to it. But yeah, fine margins at this game. I think he's trying to look here to try and maybe rest on the pack next to the pink. The tough shot, he's got to get this right. No, he's gone wide, look. But he's alright if it's... No.
Foul. And a miss.
Don't think he played on the red, I think he played on the red near the pink. on the side of the pack, but it's just slid. Yeah, he's laughing there, it's gone wide.
You got me there. Off the next cushion.
I always like seeing Stephen Maguire in these situations.
A little bit more.
He does a shot sometimes if you can't see an out, he just hits them as hard as he can. It's actually called, players on tour call it the Stephen Maguire shot, because you see him play it all the time, and it works out for him more than you'd think.
It certainly worked out for Matthew Selt on table 2. He's defeated Ron Milkins 3-0. So now he has 2 wins out of 4. Selt, who finished off last night with a 3-1 win over Judd Trump. He's won 7 frames in this group so far. So I reckon his total earnings for the Bet Victor Championship League of 2023 thus far, £12,900 and counting. Loving it.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's better than a punch in the nose, isn't it, that? So, yes, he'll love it. I'm sure we'll hear all about it in the players' room.
One.
Now that was very well cued. That's the kind of shot. It doesn't look spectacular, but when you knock a lot of those in, it gives you a lot of self-belief, a good warm inner feeling.
Yeah, the shots that you practice, the shots that you know they're tough, but you'd expect to get a high percentage of them. And usually with that sort of shot you are leaving something on, so there's a bit of pressure on them. But yeah, hit that lovely. I think the pink, is the pink go? I think if the pink does go, he's not going for it because he can't get on a red. Yeah, so he's going to get this side of the table with a blue. That's what he's doing.
Six.
He's on that road with the rest, but I think he's just come around to see where he needs to be able to pot the black. He wants to try and get... There's a big area he can land to get on the black, but if he stays this side of the table, so having a look to find the perfect spot, look. So that now I'm even looking at the pink there. I think he's got the angle to go round the back of the black, but it's a tough shot. But just how he sees it, really. It's perfect.
7.
He's played a good shot. He's having a look, see if he can play that cannon there, but he's in danger. He could brush past the one closest to it, so you've got to be careful here. Right on the other red that goes, so gradually starting to move these reds
14.
out of the way.
$15. $22.
I'll play a little cannon here. Maybe not here. No.
23.
We'll be thinking how he's going to move them reds, because he needs to. He's got a few options. If he uses the black, he's going to want to punch into them, not screw into them. He's now looking at the pink, look, see if he can get on that pink and then nudge a few out. Plays on the pink in the left hand black corner. could top into them, but you want to be absolutely perfect on the pink, just a little bit of an angle.
$31.
He's got an option here if he wants, if he fancies it. He does a good angle on the blue to move the red if he wants. It's perfect. He does, he's screwing into him, that's it. Yeah, it's a screw shot, that is. You see a lot of players stun into it, and it's not the shot. If you screw into it, you've got a much better chance of landing.
36.
And the area on the pink is bigger that you can hit, so it doesn't slip off it. You played that really well, look, perfect.
37.
Considering the way that Walden has scored, the way that he's taken his chances, I think John Higgins might be fearing the worst here. The split could not be much better.
Yeah, he developed them well, and now, yeah, like you say, you'd expect to sort of run out. Yeah, he's got to keep his focus though.
44.
It's easy to just let it lapse a little bit, and then, you know, you miss or you run out of position.
45. $51. $52.
Yeah, I think he's landed a little awkward spot there. He looks perfect, but he's just off straight, so if he's, I think he's going to find it tough to go forward to get on a red. He's got to create an angle here where it can go wrong. He'll still expect he's going to go off the side rail, probably with the red in the middle. That's what he's done, or corner. Just in a little awkward spot. That's why he grimaced. He was all right,
58.
but he had to make an angle, and it can always go wrong or not quite how you want it. You see that the bad shot was on the red before. If it had got perfect on the pink, he doesn't have to do that, and that's what I say. It's so easy it can go wrong. I mean, you still expect to get this, but you know he's under a bit of pressure. You know that he don't want to be under, because he knows the clearance is there if he misses it. It's a good pot.
59. $61. $62. $68.
Made 4 centuries in Group 3. Looking for his second
69.
of this group. What we do know, he's got his first win. And John Higgins has been dealt his first defeat.
Yeah, he's played good, hasn't he, in patches there.
75. $76.
Yeah, it's not a result or a display that will stick in the craw of John Higgins. Not that he's committed lots of mistakes. You could make an argument to say he's made fewer mistakes in this match than he did in some of his wins yesterday.
81.
But Walden has shown a considerable improvement.
Yeah, absolutely. Snooker can be like that. You can play poor, he thinks poor at times, and
82.
just seem to get away with it. But and then other days he don't. But yeah, it's been Ricky needs to win this game, and he has done so. Good luck to him.
Yeah, the second match of the day is underway on table 2. Poor old Rob Milkins, after suffering
88.
that 3-0 defeat by Matthew Selt, he's got to try and recover against Mark Selby.
And he won't give him an inch.
Ricky
Walden missed that pot by less than an inch. It deprives him of a century, but he will not be concerned, and neither should he.